Looking for music that lifts your spirit and fills your heart? Experience the powerful sound of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. Now streaming on all your favorite music platforms. Find the Tabernacle Choir on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Let the music of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square inspire you today and every day. Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the go, enjoy the beauty of their world-renowned sound anytime. The Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, streaming now.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
This 2026 Masters Update live from Augusta is brought to you by Copper Rock, where the pros play on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, friends. Yep. It is, of course, our Masters coverage, our majors that we have across the whole season. We get to chat about all of the different majors in the golf world. And that means during all of those weeks, we get to chat with Bob Casper and Brian Taylor, of course, the hosts of Real Golf Radio right here. You can hear it every weekend on the KSL Sports Zone. It's brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union, Mountain Supply, or Mountainland Supply, Black Desert Resort, Hoops Vision, Uinta Golf. Bob Casper joining us from Augusta. Some guys are still out on the course, and there's some guys that can do some damage too. But, man, Rory came back on that second 9, Bob. He's starting to look like the champion that we saw last year.
Yeah, he said, the first 7 holes he wasn't hitting the ball in the fairway. And then, things it's like almost like a light switch goes off. And he felt that just had to keep progressing in the round, and he started making some really good swings, and from the 8th hole on, he played 5 under par. So, it was great to watch him and hear his comments after he was done playing about being able to shoot that 5 under par round in the first round.
Well, you look at the leaderboard, and it is a who's who of the best golfers in the world. The big names have really shown out today. Is that good for the Masters and good for golf when you have the big names shining in round 1?
Well, yeah, because you're going to always get people watching when they see what the leaderboard looks like, and this is the first couple of days. You can definitely shoot yourself out of the tournament especially in the first round. But anybody that goes out and shoots an under par round in that first round, right now there's currently 17 guys under par for the golf tournament. You get it under par in the first round, then you've got a chance if you continue your good play and are able to compound on that.
Bob, as you watch these guys, somebody brought up how a guy like Jose Maria Olazabal, who's a former champion, but he's also 60. There's always somebody, and I just saw Freddie Couples take a swing, and that guy looks smooth as silk still. I don't care what anybody says. That guy still has one of the best swings in golf. And I'm watching these guys out there, and someone goes, a guy like Olazabal, who has been at this course a cajillion times, I mean, the amount of experience that Augusta, when you have that experience, how much of that is the deal versus being able to also just be super talented? Because that's a guy who kind of showed the youngins around him, like, you guys don't know this course like I do. And I think that goes for so much for these guys.
Yeah, and Rory even made a comment about that in his press conference after his first round. He really felt that helped him to be able to keep in the present, be able to keep his score going in the first part of the round in those first 7 holes when he was only even par. And then once his swing started to catch in line with what he was seeing and hitting better quality shots, then it allowed him to make more birdies. But knowing where to hit it around this golf course, hitting the correct spots, if you do miss a green, you miss it in the right place, and then you're able to get up and down with your short game and your putter, and then hopefully it starts to work out. And Jose Maria, he ended up shooting 2 over par, but he was 2 under par early. And Freddie, like you said, he was 2 under par going to 15, but unfortunately made a couple big numbers on 15 and 16, and coming up the 18th hole.
You often see defending champions not do well at the Masters, but it looks like Rory McIlroy is not going to bend to that trend right now, leading this this round. What'd you see in that first round from McIlroy that gives you a feeling or a belief that this is something he's going to be able to do for the entire course of this tournament?
Well, there's not many guys that have done that. I think there's like 4 or 5 that have been able to go back to back. But it took Rory, 11 tries to get the career Grand Slam and to win his first Masters. So, he said he still felt nervous on the first tee, still, kind of shaky like he normally does. He said if he wouldn't have felt like that, it would have been cause for concern for him. But, he goes out, he shoots, strings a really nice round together, especially from 8 on, 5 under par in those last 11 holes, and he'll be able to build on that. I think Rory's going to contend in this one. We didn't know what he was going to do because he's, last year after he won his first one, we thought, wow, man, this is going to open up the floodgates for him. And then it took him a while to kind of come off of that and start putting together some good rounds. And now here you are 52 weeks later in the Masters again, and he opens up with a 67. It's great to see him, and everybody's excited for him. And, you got Justin Rose right back there again at 3 under par, and Xander is right there at 2, and Scotty's at 2 currently, and Gary Woodland, what a great story about him and his PTSD and everything. He's at 2 under par, and he just won a couple weeks ago. So it's exciting to see some of these guys that are at the top of the leaderboard.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
On the flip side, it's so hard on these guys because we go, oh yeah, this guy's a favorite, and a guy like Bryson DeChambeau who came out the last 2 years at the Masters just absolutely on fire. He has the exact opposite. I mean, I think it was number 10 that he had the triple on that really kind of just sunk the entire round for the day. But it took him 3 shots to get out of a bunker. I was like, I don't care who you are, this course will get you somehow.
Yeah, that was number 11, and that's the start of Amen Corner. And, you do that there, then you've got 12 and 13 to contend with. And, it's just really hard, especially when you get it going in the wrong direction. And that's what happened to Bryson. Whereas compared, Ludwig Olberg started out, he was 3 under par the front 9, and currently at 2 over par, he's gone the other direction. So it's a razor's edge here at Augusta, and if you're hitting good quality shots and you have everything going with your game that is allowing you to score, then you can shoot some scores. But if you get on the other side of that, it's easy to make some bogeys or even double bogeys.
I'm looking at the leaderboard, and I mentioned all those big names. And then at the top is Sam Burns. Now, this is a guy that has won on the tour 5 times, but not among those big names you'd think of. What are you seeing from him? He's looking for that first major as well. Obviously, a great start for his game. What is it about his game that could allow him to continue the success?
He's a pretty good ball striker, and if he can get that putter in his hand, one of the things that he's really good at is putting. And so that his round just kind of built along too. He made an eagle at 2, and then was turned at 2 under par, and then just started plodding along and doing the same thing Rory did, with birdies coming along the back 9 to get to 5 under par. But Sam Burns is a really, really good putter, and if he can keep his driver and his approach shots to the greens in shape, that putter is gonna really do well for him.
Well, Gary Player, he's usually not so talkative at the microphone. It was a shock, Bob, that he gave his opinions today. He comes out and he says it straight up, like, "Hey, the pros can't hit it this far. We're getting too crazy with these distances, and we've lost a little bit of sight of the game." Now, we've seen a lot of times, a lot of years where guys who were part of the, in Gary Player's case, is beyond legend, right? When you talk about somebody in this game, but you look and somebody says, "Yeah, you guys are making it too easy for these guys," or everybody's able to drive every par 4 now, and there's no such thing as a par 5. They're hitting in with their wedge, on their second shot on these par 5s. Do you feel like that the game has progressed to the point where these guys, courses like the Masters, you look at it and you go, well, it's a totally different place, and now players are, quote unquote, ruining the game. Do you see any of that, or do you just think it's progressed the way it has and we're going to take it?
The thing you have to remember is that each era in the game, going back into my dad's era, Dad played with Gary and Arnold and Jack and those kind of things. Jack was known for how far he hit the ball.
Right.
In that time. He was ahead of his game. Well, each era has that type of player. It just so happens that this era has more of those types of players. And guys are doing things now that they didn't do then. They learn how to train better. They learn how to swing faster. The golf courses, agronomy is so good right now that the ball goes further when it hits the ground and it rolls further. The greens putt smoother. They're not as bumpy as they were when my dad was playing and Gary was playing and Jack was playing early on. There's just a lot of things that have happened. Equipment is better. So when you look at everything, I don't know necessarily that the answer is the golf ball. It could be, driver heads have gotten too big, so let's bring them back down a little bit and make them spin a little bit more instead of go straight like they do. Let's make the golf ball a little bit more spinny, and that's how you control the distance. There's a lot of things that can happen other than just Gary Player or anybody saying, well, let's just roll the golf ball back 60 yards. That's a simple fix. But, having talked with manufacturers, they say, well, okay, this is what we're going to do. And for the professional game, this is what we're going to do with the golf ball and everything. Manufacturers say, bring it on, because you guys don't understand what we do and how we can engineer things to make it okay. So maybe there's only a 3-yard drop off with the new ball that's going to be coming out. So having said that, it comprises a bunch of different things and not just one.
Bob Casper, he is live at Augusta. He and Brian Taylor, of course, Real Golf Radio. Every weekend you can hear it right here. And, of course, these Masters weekends are really special. They get all the great interviews, and they've done this for a long, long time, and they get you a perfect view in your mind as to how this thing is going. And you guys do an awesome job. Bob, have fun out there the rest of the way, and we'll talk to you again.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
There you go.
Thanks, Bob.
There's Bob Casper. Yeah, some of the guys are like, Olberg not playing well, weird.
Yeah.
DeChambeau struggling, weird. But it's also just, it's a long tournament. Who knows what the cut line's going to look like? So we'll see. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We have a Would You Rather, and we want you to stay with us. So just stay dialed in here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.